I have no thoughts about how the stream should go. I was like thinking about it today. I was like, should I like have prepared questions? I have no idea.
Yeah. So what do you think you're going to work on?
So I think I'm gonna work on Italy and Greece because I haven't really gotten a chance to. Well, I have edited some, but it's taken a lot longer to get to it because I've been super busy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that, and you're gonna do Baja.
I have some stuff from Fiji. I got to do some like river spearfishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do some underwater stuff from there.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw the photo that you posted.
Thank you.
So good. So good.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's also cool. I mean, like, not to shit it on anybody, right? But it's cool to like do a stream with also a photographer that I really like and like that I admire, and like I really like your work, obviously. So it's like, yeah, it's cool to look at like your process and see like how you do things, and then whatever, vice versa.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I love your stuff, and yeah, we've had very similar summers working for the same studio.
True, very true, very true. Okay, cool. So like, how do you want to divide? I had no real idea of how long to do this, but if you wanted to share your screen and then I wanted to share my screen, but I don't know how you want to do it.
Why don't you? I'm pulling up a catalog, so if you have something ready to go, why don't you hop in?
Okay, for sure. I don't. I'm winging it.
Shout out to my 6 Twitter viewers.
Fuck yeah. Are you big on X?
Yeah, excuse me, X. I have like 11,500 followers.
What? Are you kidding? I literally thought you were about to make like a funny joke and be like, yeah, I have 11 like followers.
No. Worked for a major news organization for a while that would just retweet me. So that's how you get there.
That's nuts. 11,000. That's fucked up. Do you use like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna call it X. I'm not gonna call it X.
Yeah, I mean,
do you use Twitter still, or like have you used it regularly for a big portion of your life?
When I was working at NPR, I used it like daily. It's such a news source. But since then, I probably tweeted like 5 times. So
I had a Twitter. I think I still have one, but
I tagged you earlier, but then I saw your last tweet was 2020.
Stop. Don't look at my Twitter. Fuck. I never understood. Like I tried to use it, I tried to get it, and I don't think I get it.
Yeah. No, it's easier when you're like news organization, just like show up to stuff and just be like, oh.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, wait, I didn't know that you worked for NPR. Maybe I did know.
Minnesota Public Radio.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Do you like your thumbnails a little bigger?
What do your thumbnails look like?
I mean, just on my laptop screen, I'm trying to see your photos.
Oh wait, are you asking me to make my thumbnails bigger?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
All right. Hang on. I feel like the music is a little distracting for me.
So, like, what? Wow, these are stunning already. But like, what are we looking at? Like, where were you?
So here's how it goes. When I am editing, I start off with so many photos. A lot of them can be trash. So Italy and Greece right now, I have like 5,000 photos. A lot of them are just like, I don't know, things that I like, things that I think look nice. They could be shit, they could be not. I think the interesting thing about my personal process is that, like, how do I say this? There's a bit of magic that happens in the editing process, right? Like, it could be I'm not going to say it's a garbage photo because, like, I firmly believe that you have to be competent and like have a good sense of like composition to take a competent photo. But I think for me, like, I can salvage a lot of photos, right? So like, I think for me, it can be a so-so photo, but with the magic of editing, I can bump it up to like Yes. So a lot of it is I should be going through these photos like one by one, which is what I usually do, and then I'll just like I'll rate all of the photos. So all the ones that I'm like, oh, this is probably a good one. And what happens is like I have my own presets. Hang on one second. So I have a bunch of presets that I have made. So all of these presets I've made, and they're like for different things. And so
I would listen to like another hour of you just like how to build a preset.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to like teach you how to do preset. Do you have your own presets like
Not really, no. No, working in news for so long, it's just like so rigid with color editing and like no pixel movement. Yeah, it's like I feel really confident with all the sliders, color balancing and everything, but like a specific preset is something I've never tried to build.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed is that like, I mean, I get it. The thing that I've noticed about like photojournalism is that I know that it's a lot of work, and so like the editing isn't as like in depth that other work would be, like if you were like a fashion photographer, for instance.
Yeah, or even photographer.
Yeah, for sure. But sometimes that can lend itself to like how, I don't know, it's just like kind of like a different style of photography that I have learned to appreciate. And like the absence of heavy editing almost makes it kind of interesting to look at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. It kind of distills like you have to have a good subject.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So like it's yeah, you're like kind of putting more work into the photograph because you're not going to be able to dress it up afterwards.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. I mean, you have to be free of that personally. So
yeah. So I have a list of like presets that I've made. And what I will do is like, again, I said like I will usually go photo by photo. But if I am just like looking at it all and feeling very overwhelmed, which is what I will be doing here today.
Oh, I can help you with that.
I'll just find a spot and be like, all right, we're gonna start here. Like, this looks cool, I fucking guess. So I'll start here, and then I'll like go through my presets and start like applying them. Find one that works. Let's say I choose this one. This is not what it should look like, but I'll fuck around. I'll make it look better, and then once I finally get to like what the image should look like. Then I'll start, I'll go back and I'll copy paste the edit that I made to that one and start copy pasting it to a bunch of different ones just to see what they're going to look like when they're good.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Exactly. So, so that's like kind of like my first step, and that's kind of like a lazy one. Like what I would usually do is just like pick the ones that I know are going to be like used for real, and that's like give it 1 star if I plan on editing it, and then like.
Do you do that in Lightroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. A couple years ago, I started using Photo Mechanic.
Yeah.
For that first process, it just was so much faster for me.
Okay, tell me about Photo Mechanic because I don't know what that is.
It's basically like I'm not the authority on Photo Mechanic by any means, but for me, I just use it as like a file sorting software. It loads previews. Oh, hi Max. This is one of my SEO kids.
Who is Max?
One of my students on the last trip.
Oh, that's cute.
A very good photographer too.
Wow. Put up his work on the big screen.
You know, if he would maybe put a little bit of it out there, I would. But
yeah, Max. What up, Max? Show your work. Anyways.
In Photo Mechanic, it basically just loads previews much faster than Lightroom, so you can just like blow through pictures without having to wait for full loading speed. And then I do all of that on the card, and then I import, so they'll go into Lightroom with the star rating.
Okay.
Designed. So then I have my first cut without having to wait for Lightroom to kind of back things up.
Okay, and do you think that that's like way faster than Lightroom?
I found it to be way faster, unless you build previews when you import in Lightroom. Photo Mechanic is just the file handling is just way faster.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can show you another time.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, I like looking at this in full screen, but then I can't see the chat. 1 sec. I'm almost thinking like I say fuck it and just connect this to Instagram.
Go for it.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, you're frozen.
Am I?
Oh, now we're back.
Okay. 1 second. I like stream URL, stream key. All new words that I'm learning. Okay. Sorry, we will get back to what I was telling you in just a moment.
We'll be back after these short messages.
Okay, what the fuck is an RTMP URL? What is that?
That's the thing that Instagram provides you with.
Oh, I see it. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Okay. Title setup isn't supported for this platform. Don't know what that means. Okay. Well, it may or may not be working. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I have no idea if this is working, but well, I guess we'll see.
We shall see. We got enough platforms going here.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so anyways, what was I saying to you?
You put up presets on a bunch of photos to see what they're going to look like when they're good.
Right. That's lazy, Vanessa. So I'll just apply a bunch of like presets that are like maybe halfway to what they're supposed to look like on a bunch of photos, and then I'll be like, that looks good, and then I'll star a bunch of ones. So I'll have a bunch of 1 stars. So as you can see, I have a bunch of photos in my ones, which were originally photos that I knew were going to be taken to the next level. And then like every time they progress to the next level, you know, they get a 2nd star, they get a 3rd star, and then I don't ever get to 5, but like I think my stars probably end at 4.
I'm a color guy myself.
You're a color guy, yeah. So something that I have recently started to do is I forgot about the color flagging. So naturally, you are really good at kind of creating like narratives with your photos.
Thank you.
I'm not really good at that. I'm very much a visual aesthetic person. I'm like, this is pretty. And I don't know, maybe I just have like kind of a short attention span. So I think what I've started to do now is to use the color flagging to kind of flag images that I'm like, okay, this is gonna tell a story. This will be like, I'm just trying to work that muscle basically. And so I'm just flagging images that are gonna like sit well together.
Yeah.
How do you usually go about doing that for your like narrative photos?
See, I'm actually trying to do the inverse, really, because it's like I've been so narrative focused for such a long time that with being a bit more freed up of that sort of work, I'm just trying to like look for more aesthetic and more kind of artistic photos, and spend more time with the color toning and look for things that may be kind of non-standard and from a storytelling perspective. I think for me, it's a very similar process for you. As I come down to like, I get to my, would be for you probably 3-star edit, and then I put them in a collection. I start moving things around to see how something would flow visually. And I think a large part of it for me is going into a shoot knowing that there's a specific subject or like a specific action that I want to shoot. Like the pictures they'll show, it's like, I do a ton of spearfishing photography. We got to go like traditional river and net spearfishing in Fiji, and I was like, okay, well, I'm with all these like village grandmas in muumuus and goggles. So there's my story. Like it's character driven, and I feel like most people do are like find a person and then build a narrative around that individual.
Okay, cool. So you kind of like take photos of what's around you and then just like look through your photos and think about like, well, this is what I'm focusing on.
Yeah, and so much of it is in shooting when it's like, okay, you see a certain sequence happening with a person, or you just meet someone who's particularly interesting, and just really honing in on them. So I think the storytelling comes much more on the front end than the back end for me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to get better at that. So
who's like extremely good at that, better than like almost anyone knows, Dimitri.
Oh yeah, fucked up. He's so good.
Incredible.
I won't because I don't know if he wants anybody knowing, but like he had shown some work to me and a few other people while he was in
Mongolia.
Yes, Mongolia, and it makes me want to just like close my laptop and like walk into the ocean.
Yep.
Because it's very, very impressive work that I'm just like, God, fucking Dimitri. Like, this is what photography is supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to like spend months thinking about a thing and then like coming up with a concept and looking at the photos as physicals and then like as digitals and just like obsessing over something. And it's beautiful. His work is specifically for that Mongolia project is so cool.
Yeah, I think he just has a special way of thinking when it comes to conceptualizing projects that I'm still working on myself.
Yeah, for sure. Same. Shit, sorry. Okay, so all right.
How do you make these look so filmy?
How do I make them look so filmy? That's a good question. I don't know. I think that that's something.
Are you familiar with Martin Parr?
I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna send you some of his work. He did a whole series on like just people on beaches.
I think I actually know who you were talking about without knowing.
Very, very ironic photography.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do I make them look so filmy? I think that I'm just so used to looking at film that it is almost like weirdly second nature. So if I'm editing this photo, like even looking, I don't know if this is the one that I don't think this is the one that I've finalized. Let me look for the one. Also, this one is like so, this photo is like so not something that I would typically photograph, and I'm a little bit obsessed with it. I'm obsessed. I'm such a clean photographer. I think that's like sometimes to my detriment. Like my photos have a tendency of being very still and quiet, and like, yeah, just like something about this photo is like it's just pure chaos. There's a Coca-Cola bottle on the left, like just a bunch of totally, yeah, like a bunch of American shit like everywhere in the middle of this like Italian actually no, yeah, where were we in Italy? Yeah, I think we were in Italy. But yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, so the one that I finalized, where the fuck is it? I was working on this one. Yeah, so like, yeah, I'm still working on this one. I haven't like finished it, but it still doesn't look right to me. I don't know how accurate the colors are. I'm looking at like your screen versus mine. Yeah, something's to me not ready about it. Like I feel like the sky, I've been editing the sky a fuck ton lately.
So you put a mask over the sky, a very specific mask over the sky, not just like
yeah. So thank you so much, Hector.
I agree with Hector.
I've been ever since that update came out where you can like where it just like masks everything perfectly. That was like I'm obsessed because I've been using it so much now. And I feel like with a lot of one of my biggest like downfalls is I sometimes don't expose the photo correctly. So like while the foreground may be exposed perfectly, the sky isn't, or vice versa. It depends like what I'm like focusing on. So like to have this feature where I can fix the sky has been monumental.
This is an A7 III, right? So you have a viewfinder? Cool.
Yeah. So so I have been fucking with the sky in like every photo, and to me right now it's pretty close. I think it's not quite right. Where the like that almost looks a little bit better to me, and it was just like a simple little nudge of highlights.
Can you hit a just so I can see? Can you hit backslash so I can see the original?
Yeah, I can make this bigger for you too. 1 sec. Will this work? Is that big enough for you to see?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Good. Wow. Yeah.
Oh my! I don't know how I got so much dust.
Dust.
Ignore that. Fuck. But yeah, it's pretty different.
Yeah, seriously, you use the was it just lens correction or perspective shift too?
Yeah, so I do that for like every single photo. Yeah, chromatic aberration, enable profile corrections, yada yada. Who is? Oh, fun. Chris. Hi, Chris. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, this is almost done. It's not finished, but I don't know what it needs. I think like if you see a lot of this area right here, like where the water is, it looks a little bit too murky to me. Like I think it needs.
I'm very familiar with that issue.
Yeah, I think the saturation needs to be shifted a little bit. I think the orange and the yellow here need to be a little bit deeper, and the sky still isn't sitting right with me. So there's still some things to do, I think.
Well, I think it's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I wonder what would happen if on that water there, if you brushed and put some dehaze on it.
If I did what?
If you brushed, like just mask that area and then use your dehaze slider.
Yeah, let's see. Like all of the water, you're saying?
Yeah, the murky parts there.
Ah. Bruh. Where the fuck? I don't even think I chose the right thing. There we go. So I went swimming. This is in Greece, off of Milos, this like little island off the mainland. And I went swimming here. It was like a 10-minute walk from the place that I was staying. This like insane, I mean, look at it, it's beautiful, but like this insane beach, and right around these rocks, like in the ocean, or the sea, I should say. There was a bunch of algae?
Yeah.
Algae. That got stuck to a bunch of me, and I had like the worst allergic reaction to like, yeah, I just like started immediately breaking out in hives.
Oh God.
And as I was looking around, because it was happening to me, I was like, I wonder if anybody else is allergic. So I started looking around, and like everywhere I looked, if I looked at like people's like butts or like their arms, they all like everyone had hives.
Oh God.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is how it starts. I guess maybe I'm going too far up. I got distracted.
Maybe I was thinking just that murky part, but I'm gonna see if what works for me underwater might work for you on top of it.
Whatever. This is a test, so I don't know why I'm being so meticulous about this. All right. So you said dehaze.
Yeah, use your dehaze, and then probably you're gonna want to bring your clarity down a bit once you put that dehaze on.
Honestly, that's a lot better. But clarity.
I'd slide that down like, yeah, quite a bit. Might take the sharpness, because dehaze for me brings in a lot of like really sharp grain.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that. Hang on, let's see. I've been bumping that texture tool all the way to the left more often now. I used to like never use it, but now I use it all the time.
Whoa. I'm just doing that one of my photos.
With texture?
Yeah.
It's pretty helpful. Yeah. Especially with like if you take photo of a bunch of trees, a bunch of leaves, like it just like takes a lot of the sharpness out. Mm-hmm. That actually looks a lot better, Evan.
Good.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
Well, I can show you something here too if you want.
Yeah, show me.
Cool.
Let's see. Are you about to share your screen?
Yes. Don't show my crazy desktop again, please.
I want to. All right, let's see. How? Yes. Haha.
There we go. So this is a set from the Fiji trip this year, and it was the second year I went to this particular village leading this trip. And last year they took us to do traditional net and spearfishing in the river. Mm-hmm. But there was construction on the river, so it was way too murky to do anything. This year, thankfully, it was pretty clear. Some of these photos are Lindsay's as well. I'll try to point those out. They use my camera a bit. But yeah, I guess my process pretty much starts the same way you do. Like I'll just go through and I 1-star everything. And yeah, just from this day, I think I have 1,400 photos almost.
Oh shit! Just from one day?
Yeah. Well, with the underwater camera, it's like I normally have the shutter rate set on high, and what I do is I dial in my aperture at like 5.6, my shutter speed at like 600, and then I have my ISO on auto bracketed up to 6400, and then AF just set like super wide. So it's all shot with a 20 millimeter super wide, and then just the rolling continuous autofocus, so I can basically just kind of pinch the triggers and just kind of pop off frames. So yeah, I think what you were talking about with kind of being more drawn to aesthetic photography is like my MO in the last few years has just been like find shit that no one else is going to go to underwater.
Yeah.
And just go to it.
Dude, that shot is sick.
Thank you.
That's such a good shot.
This is a portrait of one of our village aunties who was teaching us how to do all this fishing.
I can't stand to see this unedited. I want you to edit it now.
Well, that has some light edits on. This is the original.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. It looks great already.
So the trouble with these here is I just like it was midday, so you get these sharp shadows on the eyes.
Oh wait, are they broken?
I don't believe so.
No. But it looks like it's like broken glass.
I think the first layer of her goggles might be peeling off. They're really old, and you can tell that they've been using these for like years.
I kind of love
Mom.
That it looks broken. Like I feel like you should like bring that out so it can be like seen more clearly.
Oh, let's try it. You're nope, that's not what I want to do. I don't mask or brush very much, so you might have to give me a little tutorial here.
Yeah, I brush a lot. There you go. Perfect. Yep. And then take your shadows up.
gonna clean this up a little bit. Yeah, let's get.
I think that looks sick.
I don't want to pop it out too much. Yeah, okay. I don't know. What else would you do to this?
I would bring, so what I do in like all of my photography is I kill the highlights, I kill the whites, I bump the shadows. Let's see. So like I would take down the whites, take down the highlights.
All the way?
Yeah, I like almost always. I just kill it. Honestly, the shadows are looking okay. I would maybe turn down the contrast a little bit. Yeah, we'll bring it back, but can you make the photo a little bit darker?
Sure.
Dude, this is so cool. Like editing through you. This is
fun. I like this.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. So something that I usually do, and I don't know if you play around with, because you said that you don't have any of like your own presets.
No, not really.
Okay. It's very rare nowadays because I have so many presets that I even start like from nothing. So this is a breath of fresh air. So if you go down, go to your greens.
Here?
I would lower your greens a bit.
Oh yeah, bring that tree down a little bit.
Yeah, bring the tree down.
Yeah. I wonder.
Let's see what else. Maybe so. I would go to luminance and bring your blue up a little bit. Maybe not.
It does balance out the sky a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's a touch dark here.
And then if you scroll down.
Yeah.
I do so much in these three little circles.
Really?
I do like so much. Yeah, I mean, like these three circles are the highlights, the shadows, and the midtones are going to be like the basis of what makes your photos look like filmy.
Okay.
What I usually do is I make the I'm trying to think here. The midtones and the highlights, I usually make them creamy blue, or I make them like creamy, like the lightest versions of like blue or green or pink.
Really?
Yes. Not the shadows though. I usually don't do much with the shadows. It's usually highlights and midtones.
Oh.
Do you see how that's changing like drastically?
I feel like I'm unlocking like secret knowledge now. Cool.
And then like the midtone, that bar underneath the bar, that'll make it less contrasty or more contrasty, and I probably use that on like every single photo.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna mess around with this once more, but I want to show you some actual underwater stuff.
Yeah, please do.
Let's see. No, this is probably one of my favorite frames.
Insane.
Yeah, she was just running the net across the river. Just decided to like just casually stand on this tree underwater. There's one more that I've actually done some more editing to. This is one of my favorites.
Dude, these are insane.
Thank you.
Oh man.
I found that like I didn't expect this when I first started editing underwater, but like D Hayes has been my absolute biggest friend. Like a lot of these a lot of my spearfishing stuff, a lot of underwater stuff. You'll see my DHAs is like high 60s, almost 70 sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. The dehaze tool I use a lot, especially like the more you play with it, you kind of see like how, I don't know, like how it helps photos. Like if you put it far to the left, it's a completely different look than if you had it all the way to the right. Well, not that.
It can take like a low vis, like underwater shot from like 15, 20 feet away and turn it into something totally usable, which is just incredible.
Yeah. That shot is so good.
Thank you.
So I'm like, I should be like foaming at the mouth right now. I want to get into underwater photography so badly. What are you using?
Can I show it to you? Yeah. Not put together right now, but I have my Ike light housing, which has 2 handles that attach to each side, and then my Sony A9 Mark II fits inside of here. And then on the front of it, you...
I'm like still learning how to fucking do this.
And then on top of it, you have this dome, which your lens sits right inside of. I just have mine built out for my 120 millimeter lens because I only free dive. I don't scuba, so I'm not spending more than like a minute underwater.
Yeah.
So I don't have a zoom gear. I don't have any extra extensions. It just like makes it super simple, super streamlined. I know what 20 millimeters looks like, so I can really just kind of go underwater and just kind of like blast away, which is really nice. So,
aren't those camera housing things? Aren't they pretty expensive?
Yeah, not cheap. Definitely an investment.
I mean, as they should be, right? Because
yeah, like, I mean, you're taking a $3,000 camera and like 100 feet underwater.
Yeah,
that's pretty wild.
Dang, that's super cool.
Yeah, and then you can get really good stuff above water too. So I just pull it out of the water, and the way that you actually keep it from having droplets all over your lens is you spit on it.
Oh shit!
If you take it out of the water, it creates like a kind of full coat of water on the lens. You can get to hold for about 20 seconds, so you don't get this like kind of weird ripples.
Okay, for sure.
But yeah, it's a pretty amazing tool.
I'm trying to figure out how to put you back on the screen, but I can't figure it out. One sec.
I should stop sharing my screen.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just trying to like get your box back. This is so new to me. Let's see. Well, continue on. I like this photo, so.
Thank you. This is like one of the ones that I would want to use your techniques on. Like
what technique?
Like make it look filmy.
Yeah, this would be a good one actually.
Let's see. Maybe this one actually. So I guess how I'd go through it is I'm pretty ADD editor. Like I always start with the crop though. I'm gonna balance it out. I think looks here I don't really want to go any tighter because I feel like the trees give it like a really nice kind of natural in and out. He's kind of framed right here. But you can see if you zoom in here, that's a water droplet on my lens.
Oh, I see, yeah.
That's what that looks like when you kind of get that blurriness, which can really work sometimes.
What's on his arm?
He has a scar with a tattoo on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So here, I always just drop my highlights. I really want to bring that sky just like kind of into balance. Up shadows a little bit. If I'm going to be like you, I'm just going to drop all of it. Kill the highlights, kill the shadows. Contrast. And then, honestly, I do most of my color editing down here. Just use the selective. Not really sure what I'm doing with this right now, but yeah, just use the selective.
The funny thing is, I've never in my life used that selective tool. I don't even know if I know what it does.
So you just hover over any color on here, and it will highlight. You can see it'll highlight the slider.
Okay.
you're going to use with it. So a lot of times I just use it to figure out exactly like what a color is, like what, especially with underwater photography, you'll be hovering over something and you're like, is this blue? Is it green? Is it aqua? And that will just tell you.
Okay, so then once you know what color it is, like then what?
And then you can kind of go mess around in here. So obviously I'm turning his skin green, but yeah. So.
No, wait.
Go back to that one.
Yeah, go back to that photo. I mean, I want to look at the rest of your photos, but like,
yeah,
I want to understand like once you pick a color, like then where do you go from there?
Just kind of, it's a little harder for me with this frame in particular. I think coming from kind of like the news photography background, like I have my colors balanced and it looks photoreal for me. So it's not something that I would like. I feel like this is a little bit more in your realm where I'd like want to figure out an actual aesthetic for it, because my brain says like, oh yeah, you have good clarity, you have good balance, everything's sharp, like this picture's done, quote unquote.
Okay, so that's super interesting. Like to me, I'm always wondering like for other people, and like like not, this is not to say about your work because I love your work. I think you're super talented and like I like what you put out. We clearly have different styles, but I love your style. But sometimes I can see work that is posted like let's say on Instagram and it doesn't look finished to me like at all. So like the constant question for me is like what, when people are editing, like what makes them think that the photo is done?
Yeah.
I'm
not sure. It's so subjective.
It is for sure.
Yeah. And like sometimes when I feel like when I try to move into that more aesthetic like look like you have, it's like my journalism brain is telling me, oh, that's overcooked. Like it looks like it went in a microwave. So yeah, I guess that's really just kind of baked in for me.
For sure. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there's definitely a lot of photographers that I like that are that's such an interesting thought because like there's a lot of photographers that I like that are definitely putting out work that's like overcooked, but it's done so well that I appreciate it. And then there are other photographers that I know who have just overcooked it and it's just not, it's not good, right? Yeah. Like there's a tasteful way to overcook something.
Yeah.
Especially
you can tell when it's being done intentionally.
Exactly. Yeah, I think if like your edits look like it's unintentional, then it's not. I mean, it is subjective, but I think it's an interesting thought. Like photography can be really subjective, but I think there can sometimes be like a general consensus of like what is visually appealing versus what is not.
Yeah. Like if I'm picking up a particular aesthetic that you were going for, if I can like place it somewhere, like if your photo is just like bright orange with like tons of fade and zero saturation, like it's like, oh, okay, you're going for like 70s. It's like I can place it, but if it I don't know, kind of an unfinished thought, but if it doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about, Hector. Yeah.
So I'm gonna, if you want to, I'm gonna take down my screen for a second and swap to a different catalog.
Okay.
If you have anything you want to go through.
Yeah. Let's see. Black. All right. Should I actually finish a photo somewhere?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, that Fiji trip was rough. I feel like I got some like decent stuff here and there, but like the food thing was just like.
There's a question.
Yeah.
That we should address.
It's in parallel and go back to them.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Elaborate, Hector.
I kind of see what he means. I might be able to show some of that from my Baja catalog. I'll do virtual copies of things and kind of look at 3.
Oh, okay. Do you all ever do multiple edits in parallel and go back to them? So like if I had one photo and then I did multiple edits on the same photo.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to say that I do that a lot, but I do it. And something that I have gotten, like do you do different edits and eventually go back to see which one you like the most after? Yeah, okay. Yes. So I don't do it often, like I was saying, but I think that it's a good exercise. Especially, I like to give myself a lot of time in between editing so that it's like cleansing your palette, right? Like sometimes if I spend a long time, like let's say like it's been like 2 to 3 hours of editing, I don't know, your brain gets kind of fuzzy and like you're not like seeing what may look off, I guess. So if I give myself some time and I come back to the photos, maybe apply a different edit to the same photo, that gives me a little bit more perspective of like, what was I thinking? That other day when I spent 3 hours doing this, like, this is way better. So yes, to answer your question.
Yeah, I feel like I do the same thing, but more of like an ADD way, where I'm just like, we'll be in my Lightroom catalog and click on the wrong folder, and I'll just be like, oh, that was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Start going through stuff and being like, it is fun to just look at a take from a long time ago, because especially like I generally work on such tight deadline that I'm like, boom, 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 get it out same day or next day. That doesn't leave you a whole lot of time to really take in the images that maybe you didn't pop out right away, but were actually really appealing in the first place.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's an important thing that a lot of people don't talk about. Is like,
wow, Vanessa, this is great.
I love this photo so much.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I think it might be close to being done, but I think the sky.
Yeah, I definitely, the way the mountain kind of blends into.
Right, so this line right here. Yeah. I haven't figured out how to fix it yet. I don't know where it is.
Is there a way to kind of feather that mask somehow along the border?
Yeah, I think maybe I could just highlight it and like make it a little bit, like bring down the clarity maybe. Let's try that. Yeah, I love this photo. It was a complete accident. But I think it looks like I don't even know, like an ad for goggles or just.
Oh, totally. This could be in a magazine.
I love it so much. Let's see if that helps. That did nothing. No. Well, maybe. No.
No. Yeah, that might be tricky.
Yeah, it's that one thing. It might be something that I would have to fix in Photoshop. I could dump a bunch of grain on it.
Yeah, do it.
And just make it go away. Just bump that grain up. Honestly, that might not even fix it. God. You use grain in any of your photos?
Not really. Generally, I'm trying to get the grain out.
For sure.
Gotta get that grain.
I don't typically use it that much. Like I might use just a touch, but I don't love that it takes away from the sharpness of the photo.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm kind of a sharpness. I don't know. Very much chase sharpness on my pictures.
You what?
I chase and sharpness is very super important for me.
For sure. With that being said, something that I've been trying to like focus on is to be comfortable more often with like missing the focus or like not having it be super sharp. But yeah, man. Should I edit something from like scratch?
Sure. Yeah, I'll you do that, and then I'll do one over here.
Okay. It's tough though because I have presets. I don't know if I don't know.
Throw a preset on and then walk us through like what the preset's doing.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, it's been like so long since I edited something from like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do?
That almost looks like an iceberg. It's crazy.
I know. I love this spot so much. I was there for like 2 hours just walking around. Let's do this one maybe. Okay. So I think what usually happens is like I was telling you, like I go through the presets that I have made already, and then I will find the one that works and then edit that preset to like fit wherever I am, right?
How did you learn how to make presets in the first place?
What's up?
How did you learn how to make presets in the first place?
That's a really good question, Evan. I think that I learn a lot from like emulating. So like I have done by myself a lot of backwards editing. So like if I see somebody's style that I really like, I will just look at it for a really long time and then just like try to get it to like where it is to look similar.
Yeah.
And then I'll create a preset based on like all the layers that I've made. But then, you know, like all my presets are like, you know, like this is black and white Sony outside. Obviously, like it doesn't really work here. But also you can still like edit the preset to make it look better. Like another version of that same one. Muted greens.
I just want to clean your sensor.
I know, I'm so sorry. Please, nobody judge me. My sensor, like, yeah. I don't know why it's so dirty. What was I doing? But yeah, just like, you know, these are all called like different things. Like I used all of these for like wedding stuff. I use these for like indoors, outdoors, headshots, digital, travel. And even now, like I always think like, okay, like I did all the presets I can think of, and like there's still like times where I'll be editing and, you know, I'm like, oh, well, there's a new one. I'm sorry, that's like not the best answer.
No worries.
Anyways, all right. So we are starting from scratch. I almost always crop everything to either 4:3 or 4:5. And I would say 4:3 maybe in this instance. Actually, maybe not. I also do Photoshop people out a lot of the time.
Really?
Yes. And honestly, I don't know if I love like either of them, like 4:3 or 4:5. I feel like the photo has to end like right here.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the border on the right side is definitely feels like that's where it should be.
I always correct the horizon.
Me too.
And
Dutch angles here.
What's that?
No Dutch angles.
Yeah. And then clean up my sensor. If it's like super dirty, like when I'm editing film, I will just do this in Photoshop because it takes way too long in Lightroom. Do you ever edit the original in Photoshop?
Not a ton, no. I need to, and you know, I have all these medium format cameras, and I have like 35 rolls of shot medium format film in my freezer.
Oh my God, like you've already shot it?
Yeah, I just need to develop it.
Evan.
I know.
I know so many people that do that. Like they have like bags of film, and I'm just like, I do not have the patience for that. I like like a day or two after I shoot film, I'm like getting that shit developed and I'm scanning it. Like I can't wait. I need to see what it
Do you
looks
have a
like.
flatbed scanner?
Yeah, I scan my own film.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have a V600 with the mounts and everything.
I
More.
do I have a V600? I either have the V600 or the V800. I have no idea. Wow, my sensor is so dirty. Okay, so God, the issue is like since I've already here, I'm gonna move this over. Since I've already like I have the good version of this photo, I just want to copy paste it over. But for the sake of this exercise, all right. So let's see. This is a pretty cool edit, but I wouldn't go with it because I think the whites are way too white.
Yeah, they're almost kind of chalky.
It's too chalky. It's too like it's too contrasty, and it looks like it's 2000. It's like 2007 on Instagram, and everyone is just hiking up the contrast and like blasting the whites, which is not it's not in anymore. This is a bit closer, I think, but it could still be fixed. Let's see. The thing about it was like, if we go back. So when I was there, everything was like super white. But obviously like you're out in nature and like it's not just white, right? So I think a part of what I like doing in my photography is like, while I do like to make everything look pretty film-y, I like to stay pretty true to what the colors are actually like, while still like putting my own style on it, right? So like, even though everything was like pretty white in real life, it's also not like true white. There's beige and there's like different tones.
I'm guessing this is at like noon with like full sun.
Oh, totally. This was like
everything's gonna be super.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think the sun was like right above. So yeah. So. All right. Where did we go? So I think. Hang on. Let me just take a look at these one more time. Actually. No. Next time we do one of these, I should teach you how to make a preset.
Please do.
Actually, like if you're gonna edit something from scratch on your end, and once you share your screen, we could make a preset of everything that you just did.
Cool. All right, I can do that.
And then it can be like I don't know, situational, like underwater stock preset 1. You know,
everything is blue.
Everything is blue.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. I think I'll just unedit a photo, something I already kind of have done here. Yeah, we can just go through that, and then compare it what we get to my first edit.
Okay, so I'm gonna use this preset that I have called Outside Shade. Obviously,
so shady here.
It is. It's not shady in the slightest. This would not be the final image for me. This looks all wrong, but we're going to take some steps to fix it. First things first is I go straight down to midtones, and I'm going to lower that down. And now it's going to be a little bit, I don't know how to word this, but like more realistic looking, right? Like if I hike midtones all the way up.
Yeah, it's
right. So we're gonna bring that down. Honestly, really, really digging the sky. I think it's looking pretty good, but I might fix it a little bit. Sorry, I see so much dust. Okay. I think the whites are too white. So if you go to the temperature, I might scoot it over to be a warmer photo.
Mm-hmm.
That's already better. So before and now after. Maybe even more. I don't know what I'm saying. Like I don't focus on certain things, certain like I don't know what to call these modules, I guess, more than the other. Like I would say that I don't use the tone curve and I don't use the picker, but everything else I probably I use extensively.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else? I think it's looking a little too cold and it needs to be warmed up.
I can see that.
And also, if we go back, let me just take a look. Yeah, it's much warmer.
Yeah, I love the skin tones in that other one.
Yeah, so there's.
I guess you have a bunch of tan people too. So
yeah, yeah. I think if we look at this photo, I think there's like more yellow in the midtones. So we're gonna go back and insert some more yellow in the midtones. And basically, this is all I do for like hours. I just mess around with midtones, highlights, and shadows until it looks right. Right. To me. Still a little wonky, I think. Bring back the blue.
Do you incorporate exposure into your presets, or do you do your exposure on a photo by photo?
No, I think no matter what, like the exposure is never going to be accurate for presets. So like you can make the preset, but like every photo is going to be so different. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to shift the exposure no matter what, I think. Drop the whites, as I always do, to like nothing. Still, I think it's like, I usually bump my vibrance up.
Mm-hmm.
And that usually makes the sky too blue, so then I like have to bring down the sky. I think we need more yellow, we need more orange. Fuck. This is so hard.
No, I appreciate you doing it. It's really.
We're missing some greens here. No, this is a good good exercise. I haven't done this in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I usually do not like the vignetting.
Mm-hmm.
That usually happens in photos. So like I'll bump up the amount like +6 or something to get rid of it. I've gotten like pretty fast at editing just because I have the presets now, but yeah, if I'm doing it from scratch, I'd probably like spend hours on this, just like one photo. Yeah, it's definitely closer, but it's not fully there. Sky's like completely different.
Yeah, it looks like your shadows are a little bit deeper here too.
Yeah, I think the blue is like a different shade and also brighter. Also, it's too dark right here. My shadows are darker, you're saying?
That's what it seems like to me. It might also just be subject matter.
I think. Also, if you haven't, so I mean, this is general taste. Like I always drop my whites and my highlights.
Mm-hmm.
When I go even further down here by the curve, you can drop them even further.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Sometimes if you do that, though, it just like eliminates detail.
Mm-hmm.
So.
One second, I'm gonna check on my dog.
Yeah. You have a dog?
Well, I'm dog sitting for my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
So, I haven't seen Lulu in a while. Lulu. Lulu cameo.
Oh my god. Wait, is it a girl or a boy?
She's a Bichon something mix.
Let her speak. She's so cute. Oh man. Yeah, I could spend much longer on this.
But all right, why don't we take a look at one of mine then?
Yes.
We're over an hour here, so
yeah.
That's good. Let me reset this.
Let's see.
What do we do these guys? These are garden eels.
Dude. What?
So they're me and my co-leader Jordan snorkeled out and we found like just these little eels popping up like as far as you can see, and they just kind of like float out of these little holes with the current coming at them, and they just kind of like feed.
Uh-huh.
They're the cutest things. So what I would do with this photo, belt module, first get my crop. When you dive down, like they're probably 20 feet deep, so I'm down here and you can see all the little holes that they go into, that you scare them. So they like go back into their little hole. So it's really hard to get them actually up close like this and fully out of their little hidey holes. So get my crop.
Those are so cool.
They're really cute.
All right, I'm trying to make. How do I? Can't figure out how to make us all on the screen. There's a way. Who's KMG?
KMG. Oh, Molly. One of my Nat Geo students.
Cute.
Yeah. So with this, just set the crop here, and the water wasn't the clearest, but I mean, it's still incredible visibility. So the first thing I do on all my underwater photos is just like slap on a ton of dehaze and see what you can pull out of it. It's pretty incredible, like what dehaze and Lightroom can do here. But with that, obviously you're losing a ton of exposure. You're bringing in a lot of shadows and a ton of clarity. So to compensate for that, I would just kind of bring my exposure up a little bit, see what kind of detail we're getting back here. Yeah, I'm getting good. This is already probably my journalism instinct starting to look better to me. But you see how we have the yellow, green, blue. We have this kind of like spectrum here. I will contrast. See, like 90% of my editing process is just sliding the sliders all the way back and forth. Blacks on a little bit. Having a bit crush the whites here. Actually, you know, I'm trying that, kind of crushing your highlights and your shadows, and I don't mind it. But I feel like something that I like so much with these photos is when you can kind of see the light beams start coming down.
No, yeah, I mean, the light beams really add to the photo, I think.
But I'm not sure if I do like this up here or not. If that, it kind of feels like almost like a vignette.
Yeah, I would say I don't love it for this specific photo.
Yeah, so I'll just throw a linear gradient on there. A little bit. Highlights. I actually saturate that. Oh, do I lose the screen?
Here you go.
So I bump up the saturation there just a little bit more because I can almost sometimes take down those highlights, it feels like.
Pinwheel of Death. Oh no. No.
Okay. That's not the before, but.
Oh wait, can you show the before and after?
This should be the before.
Huh. Wait. This is the before?
No, it's definitely not. I'm doing the weird. That's before. So I want to try to lose as much of this kind of like silt up here as I can.
Are those the worms that suckle on your feet if you stay really still?
No, they're not, unfortunately. They're eels, and they eat phytoplankton.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I want to get rid of some of that, but I don't think it's going to be possible, unfortunately. So
wait a minute. Okay, wait. So let's go back. Is this the before or is this the after?
This is the after.
Can I see the before?
Yes.
Okay. Wait. There was a different edit that I saw when your like laptop was kind of freezing. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I was trying to show. Was it this one?
Maybe. It was a bit more blue, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's maybe like a little bit too crunchy, but I do like that.
Yeah, I feel like I gravitate more to like warmer tones here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the yellow of the sand, then you still get that kind of blue-green coming into it. I think having to do this live is showing me that I don't have much of a process.
You're like, yeah, I think I'll That's so funny.
Yeah.
I think people would think I was like a little kooky if they saw how long it takes me to edit.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I'll just like sit on here for like a half hour and I'll move to a different frame and I'll come back to this one. I guess what this is looking like right now is like it's a little shadowy over here, but I almost like it because these eels like kind of went off like it's like 3/4 of a mile, like infinite like eels here. So I kind of like that it gives it kind of that like I don't know, ominous or whatever you want to call it look.
No, it does. It gives it depth. It also, reminds you of how scary the ocean is.
Yeah.
How there are just like unknown horrors beyond your wildest dreams.
Thousands of tiny eels. Yeah. So I don't know. Color balance is always super difficult underwater for me because it's like everything is just shifted. Like your blues are going to be green, all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Remind me where you moved again?
I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Do you swim out there? Is that a stupid question? No, you don't?
No, there's like a river that's like a creek.
Okay.
So, no, not really.
That's sad.
Yeah. Honestly, that one, this was probably my final edit that I got done with.
Okay. That looks, that tracks.
That tracks.
with your typical style, I would say that's very Evan of you.
Yeah. How so?
It just looks like what you would do. And I'm not saying that in a bad. I'm not saying that it sounds bad, but I'm not saying that in a bad way. Yeah. It just looks like your style. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I guess I probably have less of a editing process, but
I kind of love it. You're just like
playing some dehaze on there, a little clarity, some contrast, and
yeah. You're a simple man.
Thank you. Just get in front of cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
Take pictures of it. So I guess I did kind of want to show this one. So this is a before and after. So these are dolphins, and that's what I was able to bring it down to.
Way better crop.
Yeah, just huge crop, a ton of clarity, and then also using those. The thing I probably use most is the gradient filters. So like having this one here, and then I think I had another one coming up from this side, kind of like just darken that up and just really you see this beam of light in the middle here, just kind of emphasizing that singular dolphin. So yeah.
That's really interesting. I mean, also too, like with underwater photography, I feel like less is more, probably, right?
Yeah, definitely, especially if you're shooting without lights. If you're just using natural light, it's like the deeper you get, the more colors start to drop off. It's like blue is the deepest penetrating wavelength. So this was shot at about probably 45 feet. And I mean, dolphins are gray, but nothing else is going to show up really besides blue. So you have to just work with what you got. I almost like the black and white edits more.
Can I see one?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are. I mean, they're dolphins, but the black and white makes it look very scary.
Yeah, I think the thing that I like most, I'm sure you edit in black and white too, but it's just the black and white mix tool down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just
wait a minute. What the fuck is this? What? There's a black and white mix tool?
Yeah. So if you convert to black and white, you press V, obviously with your photo, and then you can use the selector tool here, and it will automatically highlight whatever color you're hovering over, and then you can change kind of that within the black and white mix.
Wow, I had no idea that existed.
So everything's blue here, so I can really only bring up and down the blues.
Yeah.
You see the aqua moving a bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really fun tool for black and white.
What's fucked up? I had no idea. Cool.
So like this one. All this here, this is probably where I use it most effectively. Like all this is yellow, all this is green. If I just convert this to black and white, everything's going to just like, his whole face is going to turn black. Like you're not going to get any detail out of there. So what you can do, go in the black and white mix, loads, and select your yellows. And you see I've brought the yellows up a ton here. And just by bringing those up, I gain a lot more detail in the shell, face. Let's see what actual color that is. That's aqua.
I feel like this, it's looking a little purple, no?
I think that's probably how it comes through your screen.
Oh. Does it look more black and white on your end?
Yeah, definitely. I guess I get a little tint to it.
Oh wait, but your tint is all the way to purple on the far end. Interesting.
Yeah, but it's totally desaturated, so
yeah.
Maybe I need to calibrate my monitor.
No, I mean I'm sure it's fine because your dolphin photo looked accurate.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my favorite little black and white tool.
Okay, well, good to know because I didn't know that existed.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can still learn something.
Me too. Anyway, we should wrap this up.
Yeah, sure. Hang on one second. Let me get out of full screen. This was super fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
I had a good time.
Me too.
I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but I did.
Yeah,
I feel like I learned a lot. I mean, I know you think like you don't really have a process, but like even just go back to your library one more time so I can take a little peek. Just kind of seeing like what you choose to take photos of is illuminating for me.
Thank you.
Because what I take photos of is much different, I think, than what you focus on. And it's a good learning experience for me.
Thank you. I feel the same way. It's just like looking at details and like shapes. Like that picture with the goggles was stunning. Like I would want to print of that. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Can I see this photo of the surfer with the water above?
Oh, what? No.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah, totally.
Is he in focus?
Pretty much. Maybe a touch out of focus.
Oh, but it's so good. Zoom out. I'm just like waiting for the screen to like.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Yeah, these were fun. I set my mask on and I was just like in the surf, and I think finding like the sunset, so the sun was directly behind me coming like straight down the ocean. It's just putting yourself in those circumstances.
I feel like this would make for a really good black and white, super crunchy, grainy photo.
All right, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Bump your whites a little bit.
Up.
I wouldn't usually say, but for this instance. And then I would say take down the orange a little bit. Like his face is a little bit too bright.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you add some grain. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. I'm wondering. Let's take the oops. Bring the blues up a bit. And then just,
yeah, I kind of like it that bright. What's happening?
Try to go full screen.
Yay!
Yeah, it works.
I'm telling you, add some crunch, add some grain.
Add some crunch.
That's sick. That's such a good shot.
Thank you. Yeah, I was in the surf for a long time.
You're so talented, Evan.
Thank you. So are you. Yeah, it's just fun to see how light moves in water too.
Yeah. That's Like, what? You're like traveling through space and time.
It's just to put the sun right behind you, and like you're at a place where you can't see the bottom. There you go. So this definitely has a ton of crunch on it.
That's great. It's working. Yeah, that looks great.
That's before.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks awesome.
So anyway, thank you so much for having this idea and just like rolling with it.
Of course. Thank you for being a part of it.
Of course. Thank you to all our wonderful viewers. I don't know how many there.
I have no fucking idea. But thanks for coming if you did.
Yeah. Let's do it again sometime. Let's get some other people in and share some work.
All right, for sure. Thank you, Evan. I'm going to go eat a cookie or something.
All right. Have a good night.